MLB spring training is great for both the players and the fans of baseball. On the fan side, you're watching the future of your favorite teams right in front of your eyes. And for the established players, you're honing your skills getting ready for opening day. Current stars in the major leagues like Bryce Harper, Kris Bryant, and Juan Soto got their first big break in spring training. I'm going to discuss the 2019 top prospects and whether or not I think that they will make their big league clubs this year. Let me predicate this by saying that I did not just pick these teams out of a hat. I went to MLB.com's top prospects page, clicked on top prospects by team, and sorted them out this way by their divisions. The first prospect I want to highlight is Braves pitcher Mike Soroka. In 2018, he had a 2.0 ERA in his 5 games in AAA, and he made his major league debut going 2-1 before inflammation in June caused him to shut it down for the rest of the year. Do I think he'll break camp with the team this year? Maybe. He's having a great spring, and if the inflammation is down, he will definitely break camp with the team. But if not, I can see him coming up in June or July if he continues how he did last year. The next NL East prospect I want to highlight is Miami Marlins pitcher Nick Neidert. In 2018 in AA, he went 12-7 with a 3.24 ERA in 26 games. Now, do I think that's going to cross over into major league wins? Not at first. I don't think he'll break camp with the team. I think he'll be sent down to AAA, and if he has a great year, you can see Nick Neidert in the major league rotation come July or August. The next prospect and first position player on this list is New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso. In 2018, in 67 games, Alonso hit .260 with 78 strikeouts but 21 home runs. He started the year in AA where he hit .314. Now, do I think Alonso will make the team? Highly unlikely. They have first baseman Dominic Smith, and unless Smith gets injured, I don't think you'll see Alonso. But I do think that he'll be in AAA, and if he hits well in AAA, that he might force the Mets to make a move. Now let's go on to Philadelphia and their top prospect, Adam Haseley. In AA last year, in 39 games, he hit .316 with only 19 strikeouts and 6 home runs. Will that transition into a major league spot for him? Not with the signing of Andrew McCutchen and Bryce Harper, along with Rhys Hoskins. He'll be in AAA for a long time, but I think he'll continue to hit well and flourish in Lehigh Valley. Speaking of the signing of Bryce Harper, let's move on to his former team, the Washington Nationals, and their top prospect, outfielder Victor Robles. In spring training right now, he is hitting .333, and last year he hit .288 with 18 strikeouts and 3 home runs. Do I think he'll continue this success in spring training come opening day? Absolutely, I think he will. Like I said, Harper is gone. That opens up a spot for Robles, and with him and Soto in the outfield, the Washington Nationals might not win the division this year, but they will definitely make it interesting. The next division I want to highlight is the National League West, and let's start in Arizona and their star pitcher, Jon Duplantier. In 2018 in AA, Jon Duplantier had a 2.69 ERA with 68 strikeouts. Now, do I think he'll make the major league team? I don't think so this year unless he starts in AAA. I think that has to be key for Duplantier. If he starts in AAA, you'll definitely see him this year. But if he starts back in AA, I think you'll see him maybe come September at the absolute earliest. But definitely I see Duplantier being a star in their rotation come 2020. The next player that you might see in 2019 is Colorado Rockies infielder and 3rd overall pick in the 2015 amateur draft, infielder Brendan Rodgers. In 2018, he had .275 with 17 home runs but 76 strikeouts in AA, earning him a promotion to AAA Albuquerque where he only hit .232 but in 19 games. He was a non-roster invitee in the last couple of spring trainings, so does that mean that he'll transition into the big league club now that DJ LeMahieu is gone? Not likely. The Rockies signed infielder Daniel Murphy to a 2-year contract. But that doesn't mean that Rogers won't be getting playing time. The Rockies have shown that they are no rush to bring Rogers up to the big league club, and he has been hitting in the minor leagues his entire career. If he keeps that up this year in AAA Albuquerque, it will force the Rockies to move him into the major league club and make room for him in that infield. That's crowded by Nolan Arenado and Trevor Story. Now let's move on to the reigning National League champions, the Los Angeles Dodgers, and their top prospect, outfielder Alex Verdugo. In 2018 in AAA Oklahoma City, Verdugo hit .329 with 47 strikeouts, but he also took his walks with netting 34 base on balls. Do I think he'll transition into the major leagues this year? Yeah, probably. He's having a decent spring, and with the Dodgers moving Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig out of the outfield to make room for possibly landing Bryce Harper, which they didn't, it leaves a hole in the Dodgers outfield that Alex Verdugo could possibly fill. Now, do I think he'll fill it right away? Maybe, maybe not. I think that if he continues to hit in Oklahoma City like he did last year, he definitely will break camp with the Dodgers. But if not, I see him up in early 2019. The next California prospect I want to talk about is Fernando Tatis Jr. In 2018, in AA, he hit .286, but he struck out 109 times by hitting 16 home runs. Do I think he'll translate into the major leagues? Not this year. Now with San Diego signing Manny Machado at shortstop, and with his high strikeout rate right now, I don't think Tatis will make it into San Diego. I see him at most being in AAA, but definitely by 2021, Fernando Tatis will be a San Diego Padre. The last prospect I want to talk about in the National League West is San Francisco Giants pitcher Sean Anderson. Last year, he pitched 8 games in AAA, going 2-2 with a 4.18 ERA, but striking out 34 people and only issuing 11 walks. Is he going to make it in the league this year? Very highly unlikely, unless the Cueto injury is a lot more serious than the Giants are letting on. But with people like Madison Bumgarner, Jeff Samardzija, and them signing Drew Pomeranz this year, it's going to be very hard for Sean Anderson to make it into the San Francisco Giants. Wrapping up the National League, let's move to the National League Central, my favorite division, and let's start with the St. Louis Cardinals and their star prospect, Alex Reyes. In 2018, Alex Reyes struck out 13 people in 7 innings pitched in AAA, and he also got promoted to the big league club, only pitching 4 innings but netting 2 strikeouts. What does that mean for Alex Reyes and the St. Louis Cardinals moving into the future in 2019? I think Reyes will be a part of the Cardinals breaking camp. I don't know if he'll be in the rotation or if he'll come out of the bullpen, but it shows a lot of character for the St. Louis Cardinals trusting Alex Reyes, who's only made 4 minor league appearances, and he's already made a major league appearance. The second prospect I want to cover in the National League Central is the Pittsburgh Pirates pitcher Mitch Keller. Last year, Keller made it all the way up to the AAA affiliate Indianapolis Indians, where he started in 10 games, going 3-2 with a 4.82 ERA, but he struck out 57 batters and only walked 22. So what does this mean going forward for him? It's really hard to tell in my opinion, because that high ERA could just be from lack of starts, or it could be that he gave up a lot of runs, but the Indians scored a lot of runs for him. But that 57 strikeouts and the 22 walks, I think, is going to be pivotal as he continues in spring training for the Pirates. I don't think he'll break camp with the team. I think he'll go down to AAA Indianapolis, where he'll spend most of the year. But if he pitches really well, he could make it up by late August, but I definitely think he could be a September call-up. Now let's move forward to the National League Central champion Milwaukee Brewers and their second baseman, Keston Hiura. In 2018 in AA, Hiura hit .276 and 6 home runs, but he struck out 56 times, but stole 11 bases. What does this mean for Hiura going forward in 2019 for the Brewers? I don't think he'll make the big league club, only because after the Brewers traded for Mike Moustakas, Travis Shaw moved over to second base, filling that need. So Hiura might start in AA again, or he'll be moved up to AAA, but I don't think he'll be in Milwaukee in 2019 at all. Maybe in 2020, at the absolute latest, 2021. The second to last team I want to cover is the Cincinnati Reds and their top prospect, utility man Nick Senzel. In AAA last year, Senzel hit .310 with only 39 strikeouts and 6 home runs. Now, do I think that will mean he'll be in Cincinnati this year? No. With the Reds trading for Matt Kemp and Yasiel Puig in the outfield, and that infield is already pretty much set, I think that Senzel, unfortunately, is going to have to stay in Louisville for this year. But if he hits really, really well like he did last year, look for him in Cincinnati sooner rather than later. And the final team to go over in the National League Central is my favorite team of all time, the Chicago Cubs, and their top prospect of 2019, Nico Hoerner. Nico Hoerner was drafted 24th overall in last June's draft out of Stanford University, but he's already proven that he can hit because he hit .337 in Arizona Fall League this past fall. And currently in spring training, he's hitting .833 with 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Do I think Nico Hoerner is going to make the team in 2019? Absolutely, I think Nico Hoerner is going to make it in 2019, mostly because Addison Russell has to sit out the first 40 games because he violated MLB's domestic violence policy. Okay, let me be real here. Nico Hoerner is not going to start in 2019 for the Cubs. He'll probably be down in AAA Iowa, and he'll kill it in AAA. But he will not make the Chicago Cubs roster breaking camp. Mostly because Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer are in no predicament to have him up in the majors this year. They have Javier Baez that can move from second to short and have Ben Zobrist and Daniel Descalso that can play for Javi at second while Addison Russell is out. Now, for the real top prospect of the Chicago Cubs that is really estimated to come up in 2019 is Adbert Alzolay, pitcher for the Cubs. In 2018, he had a .476 ERA, but he only pitched in 8 games all year round because of an injury that sidelined him for most of the year. Do I think Adbert Alzolay will make the team this year? No. Mostly because I think Adbert Alzolay is the future starter for the Chicago Cubs, and right now that rotation is set. You have John Lester, Big John, Big Game John, the ace of the staff, pitching opening day, and then you also have Cole Hamels, Yu Darvish, Kyle Hendricks, and Jose Quintana. That rotation is set, and unfortunately there's no place for Adbert Alzolay, even if one of those players go down, because you have Mike Montgomery who has proven that he can make it out of the bullpen and transition into being a starter. Anyway, guys, those are my top 15, 16 if you want to count Nico Hoerner, prospects that you should look for this year in 2019. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and look forward to the American League teams coming out here shortly.